Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was struck by how much I identified with everybody's gifts and the exiling story around them. Actually, quite strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can jump on that. Yeah, I was, oh, I could have said that. And again, I think something that struck me is how much of those gifts I could perceive in each of you. So that exile might be less strict than perhaps I would assume.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah.
I am struck by, first of all, not right now, but throughout the conversation, sort of the level of anxiety that I was feeling, which I interpreted as, well, this is something that matters to me for some reason.
Mm.
And also in the process of listening, how many things were coming up that it wasn't really the right time for. Just ideas about, you know, like wanting to say dig into some aspect of what somebody said.
Mm.
And a lot of that is kind of is really more indulgent than anything else, I think. Yeah, and yeah, just there's kind of an art to this, I think.
Mm.
There's a bit of an art to having good conversations, and part of it is just being able to listen not only to what the other person is saying, but also to what my heart is telling me, or my intuition, or my whatever, and sort of staying present with that.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling the anxiety again.
Well,
I wanted to say, like I said, I kind of gave feedback before, but something you said, Kevin, just reminded me, and Ben probably remembers, I think one of those 6 master classes, Peter expressed something that I'm like, I have experienced, but he put words to it. He was talking about in the big group, and say we were in person in a big circle. If it's not popcorn, or even if it is, and that's why the small group is the unit where we really can lean in and listen, is that, you know, I'm in this room and somebody shares and I'm thinking either, oh yeah, that was really, oh, that's going to be a lot better than my sharing. Like, and the other question then is like, what am I going to say? What am I, you know, and as you said, there's what I hear, and then there's my like internal response to it. And when it comes to be my turn, but I, you know, say something, and then after it moves to the next person, and I go, oh, that really sucked. So that's past and future, you know what I'm saying? And so it's really, he's inviting us to be really present in the moment. And it takes, as you said, an art to listen in this way. It takes practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious that the things that were coming up for you, Cabot,
Great.
you called them, you said that was a kind of being indulgent, but I don't know, I'm curious to hear more about that, or what kinds of things were they? You know, just a little taste.
Well, for instance, with your sharing about being argumentative, I wanted to go into what is kind of familiar territory for me and say, well, what are the things about that? What are the qualities that you may have developed as a result of being argumentative that are useful? Or, you know, like, what's right about it, you know? And I wanted to kind of dig into that. And
Sounds, I mean, that,
Yeah.
I mean, there is this line between being helpful and, you know, and giving advice, which we don't do, and asking questions that help things to surface. So we can maybe segue into some of the gifts conversations. Like, I really appreciated the moment when you asked Tina, so what's the really short version of what you just said, you know, because there was a lot there, and I was kind of having trouble tracking it all. And that's exactly the kind of question Peter would also ask too. You know, and so what's the one sentence version of that, you know? And I think that was really helpful. And so I want to, you know, applaud your instincts. And
thank you.
yeah, I look forward to your journey into facilitation if you decide to take it. Now, what's a place to play with that and practice? But
Yeah, I hear curiosity, Cabot, in that, and amount of listening that you were doing, you know, or else you wouldn't have been able to kind of formulate that sort of question for Ben or any of us, you know, so that's what I hear. So gifts conversation, and I mean,
do
we
we
just forward the gifts conversation, but we could time to exchange gifts.
right? And I think maybe we don't record this.
We don't record this, okay.
Bye, everyone.